Train 262 Heavy, wind calm, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff, caution wake turbulence, previous departure, Heavy 777.
Hello and welcome aboard our beautiful B-17 Flying Fortress. Before we get started, let's talk quickly about some changes to the Flight Simulator X spotlights. There will be no more Friday spotlights, we will only have Monday spotlights. I'm still going to alternate between military and civilian. But excepting this week, this is the only week this is not going to happen, I am hoping that in the future you will have two videos on Monday. You will have a video of an airplane and a video of some scenery. So I might do an airport, I might do a town, a building, I don't know. But I'm going to try to get some scenery worked in, so there'll be two videos. Expect the scenery video to be shorter. But it's only going to be on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. But just be aware. Nothing on Friday. I have new things on Friday. Tune in Friday to see what I have on Fridays. All right. Let's talk about our beautiful B-17G Flying Fortress. She is the G model. This is the Yankee lady. She's the G model. G models had the chin turret, the electronically operated chin turret. Prior to that, the F models with the did not have that. They had mounted in the nose of the bomb view window. The excepting of the last block of F models, borrowed that chin turret, and it was actually off of what was supposed to be a heavy escort B-17. They kitted it out with a whole bunch of guns and 11,000 rounds of ammo to escort before the P-51. But then the P-51 showed up and they were like, meh, put bombs in it. All right, so let's get in our cockpit. We do have a full virtual cockpit. Do not remove. Remember that. Don't remove the seat we're sitting on. We have modern electronics, it looks like. But I would kind of expect that. There are some other features. Control W opens up my window. I wish it changed the sound. I wish the sound volume changed. That would be awesome. But Control Shift V opens up my cowl flaps. Control Shift B, no, C. Control Shift C closes my cowl flaps. That's pretty cool. That was in the README. I know that much. The README also said, "Oh, a bunch of switches are pressable." So there looks like there are a bunch of switches that we can press here in our plane. We got starters over here. We got what's that? Flaps. I can actually pull my flap thing. That's cool. 25%. Landing lights. Let's turn those on. What's this? Landing gear lever down. Yeah, I would kind of want that. Strobe lights on. What's that? Tell me. Nav lights on. Recognition lights on. Okay, what are these? Fuel pump off. I don't know why the fuel pump is off. I guess those are the boost pumps. Anyway, so there's a lot of extra stuff in here to play with. That's cool. Alright. So, before we talk about our plane, oh, look, she's got the blue recon lights right down her spine. That's nice. Now let's take off. Let's take off from here. Yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, let's throttle up our four right R1820-97 Cyclone turbo supercharged engines, producing 1,200 horsepower apiece. Yeah, she's a big one. One thing I noticed, that Sperry ball turret down there, that should be retracted a little bit farther than it is. There we are. We're hanging out in the seat. Let's see, we have a weird yellow shirt on for reasons. I don't know why. Are you gonna want to take to the skies, baby? Oh yeah, there we go. Track those gears. We're gonna keep a nice slow climb because she is not gonna be a fast climber. Alright, I'm scanning my gauges, trying to figure out which gauge is what here. Alright, I found my airspeed gauge. We're gonna retract our flaps in hopes that we're not going to drop too much altitude too fast. Okay, there we go. There's 500 feet per minute climb. That's That's good. Alright, we look okay. We just took off from Dunsford, by the way, if I didn't say that earlier. That was Dunsford. Because I'm not 100% sure where all of the UK bases are, but now what the heck. Take off from a UK place because, well, the mighty 8th Air Force, she flew out of all over the UK to Nazi Germany. Alright, so let's talk about our plane, which is, for some inexplicable reason, rolling left. A fighter to keep her straight there. Alright, where's my, someone find my compass for me. Where is a compass? Where is the compass? Well, hey navigator, where's a compass? Oh, I presume a compass is, I think it's right, let me see if I can get my mouse, right there is where the compass is supposed to be, and it is not. I just noticed my attitude indicator is also not. That's kind of annoying. Oh well, and she is rolling hard to the left. All right, well, we'll deal with that in a minute. August 8th, 1934. The United States Army Air Corps issued a proposal to replace the B-10, which was then the primary bomber. Boeing put forth their Model 299. It combined the features of their XB-15 bomber and the Boeing 247 passenger line. It could carry 4,800 pounds of bombs and had 5 7.62 millimeter guns on her. The plane completely outperformed the offerings from Martin and Douglas, but she was more expensive by the tune of, I believe that what I saw was based on what Douglas offered, it was $40,000 a plane more expensive. That doesn't sound like a lot, but remember, the B-17's purchase price was nearly $100,000 back in the 1930s. That's a lot of money. Now, the crash of the prototype actually caused the Army Air Corps to give the contract, oh, there's an airbase right there. I think we might be trying to land there. Gave the contract to Martin for the B-18 Bolo. However, they were so impressed by the aircraft that they kept looking at it. They kept coming back to it. They eventually decided that they needed another bomber to go with the B-18 Bolo, and that became the B-17. This aircraft, of course, was instrumental in the strategic bombing campaign over Europe. She wasn't as instrumental over the Pacific, but she was still extremely useful over the Pacific as well. Top speed is 287 miles an hour. She had a 2,000-mile range with the proper bomb loading. As I said, this is the G model. So the G model had the ball turret, the Sperry ball turret. It also had the electronically operated turret underneath the nose. This is pretty much this was the last model produced, but it is pretty much what we consider to be the B-17 Flying Fortress. Often forgetting that there were multiple models before. In fact, the F model was the most common model used by the 8th Air Force when they flew out of Europe, out of the UK to Europe. The B-17 Flying Fortress. The Flying Fortress name was given by a writer with the Seattle Times when he saw the guns. Boeing saw some serious PR pluses in that, so they trademarked the name. Then when photos started surfacing during World War II of B-17s coming home with massive amounts of damage, that Flying Fortress name became more and more iconic. And there's pictures everywhere of Flying Fortresses that took massive amounts of damage and returned home. Sure, some of the crew were killed or seriously injured, but they got home. Of course, the famous Ye Olde Pub there's a book called The Higher Calling. I've talked about it before. Details the encounter of the ye old pub with a BF-109 that escorted her over the English Channel. The pub was badly damaged. I won't cover everything that was wrong with her, but her tail gunner was killed. She lost the plexiglass nose. She was not a G model, so she lost the plexiglass nose. She lost an engine. Another engine was in a runaway mode, meaning that they were able to get it under control every once in a while, but not always. There are holes throughout her skin. The guns were iced up on the top turret and the bottom turret. She was missing part of her horizontal stabilizer. She was just a mess. And I would encourage you to read the book or go read up on the old pub. Just one of many B-17s that made it home despite really not looking like they were in the condition to make it home. All right, let's hit up our buttons before we try to make a circle and land at this airport. Shift 1, nothing. Wow, there's nothing. They have coded everything in to this. You don't get a GPS. Wow, you have to do everything by... Okay, so there's your radios down there. Yeah. No GPS for you. You better know where in the world you are. Where in the world is the Yankee lady? You thought I was going to say Carmen Sandiego. You were wrong. Alright, so this is a nice long runway. So we're going to try... Alright, my goal is going to be to fly... See that lake there? We're going to try to fly a loop around that lake. Should, I hope, bring us in. Oh, I think, if I remember the... Here we go. That is your air brakes. The air brake button gives you a bomb bay. So, there you go. You have a bomb bay. Very nice. Alright, so where is my altitude? Okay, there is my altitude indicator. Presumably I'm at 200 feet, give or take. Put those engines into the green. Alright, we're descending at a reasonable rate, I think. Man, this is going to be difficult. Not actually knowing where I'm at. It's awesome. Alright, let's do a little bit of flap. Let's up the engine power a little bit. Alright, we're going to go ahead and ask for gears out. So they're going to come out relatively slow. There we go. I have been on a couple of B-17s. You have this view of a B-17 as a giant aircraft, huge plane. If you've never stood by one, especially if you haven't been in one, you don't realize exactly how small these planes really were. Having been in one, I can't imagine the guys that had to crawl around. Like, to get from the front of the plane to the back of the plane, you had to go over the bomb racks. And, you had to be pretty small. At ball turret, oh man, if you had any sort of claustrophobia, that was not the place for you. Today we would look at it and be like, well, that's not a very big airplane. When you consider the time, she was a big bird. Alright, we're, how far off are we? Well, miles. Alright, so I'm going to have to line up from outside because it's just not going to happen inside. Man, can you imagine seeing one come in? That'd be awesome. What was I lining up on last time? Good grief. Alright, I don't want to run her all the way up. I also want to kind of watch my cylinder temp because my concern is that this plane is going to be designed much like that Brewster Buffalo way back in the beginning of this whole thing, where the cylinder heads actually would overheat and then you were kind of screwed. Right. So right now the only beef I have is my compass is knackered and so is my attitude indicator. I mean, other than that, this is looking pretty good. Alright, we're going to cut the engines. Not completely though. Thankfully, because they're not jets. Can We can expect them to ramp up pretty quickly as long as we watch our airspeed. Okay, cut her way back here. All right, coming in. Let's go ahead and give her a little bit more flap. We're gonna be a little bit high, but that's all right. I'm not gonna force it in too hard. Okay, now I'm low. Well, whatever. It's all right. We can do this. Yeah, we're all red, but I think we can still make this. There we go. Too much flare there. Oh, look at that. A three-pointer. I'm going to cut the engines. I'm not going to hit the brakes because I don't want to. I learned playing B-17 Mighty 8th. Never hit my brakes when I landed, unless it was a serious emergency. Because, see, tap them, and she immediately tries to step forward. Look at that. Beautiful big old B-17. Open up our window. We have plenty of runway, so we're just going to cruise down. Oh, there we go. All right, let's tap the brakes a couple times. We have differentials? We do. Good. Another thing you could do, I learned on the Mighty 8th game, I could differential power the engines, but it was never as good as differential braking, and oh my goodness, she just doesn't want to make this turn. Come on, baby. Turn. Turn, the big goat. Well, we'll just run over some grass, because really, this plane could handle that. Let's see how much flap we actually have on this plane. Look at that. That is a good bit of flap. All right, we're off the runway. Parking brake on. Yeah, look at that. All right, let's pull those flaps up. I'll shut off those big right cyclones. I wish they'd add a little bit more sound to the killing of the engines. That would have been nice. Oop, I didn't quite completely retract my flaps, but that's all right. All right, let's try to open. Open. What opened? Oh, there we go. That is the spot. Yep, I've climbed up in that. Yeah, we can open up our bomb bay while we're sitting here. We can. Good. Yeah, look at that. So here we go, the B-17G Flying Fortress. This is the Yankee lady. It's a nice plane. A few controls are missing here in my cockpit, and that's sort of annoying. Let's turn that off, turn those off. Whatever is clunking back there is really annoying, but whatever. Yeah, I'm missing a couple of controls that I would prefer. I'd prefer that to actually work. I would prefer that to work. Other than that, I mean, we actually have to come down here and hit all of our buttons. It doesn't seem to be... Where is my rudimentary autopilot? Because these things had a rudimentary form of autopilot. Engine 3 off, off. Turn all those jennies off. What's this? Don't care about that. Turn off the battery switch. Okay. Interesting. What's this? Nope. All right. So I don't really know. Don't really know where the rudimentary autopilot is, but presumably you can find it if they've coded it. They might not have even coded it. Oh my gosh. Come on, turn off. No, that's not off. There. Why, you should be cut. That is the weirdest thing. Alright, you're cut. Yeah, I don't know where my rudimentary autopilot would be. But that's fine. I mean, it looks like this virtual cockpit is pretty much fully functional, and that's awesome. You don't get that very often in a mod. I do wish I had some, like, external views. Is my autopilot? No, it doesn't appear to be. I do wish I had some views from the various crew areas. It'd be awesome to be able to put the plane in autopilot, maybe be up here in the turret, be down in the Sperry, even be in the tail, or especially in the nose. That'd be great. But for what it is, which is a freeware plane, it's a pretty nice looking B-17G. So there you go, start to our next season of Flight Simulator X Spotlights, where we're going to spotlight planes and, as much as I can, some terrain and airports as well. It's a very nice aircraft, and I would encourage you, if you need a B-17, this one certainly fits the bill. It's the first one I have found that I have actually been able to fly and think is semi-decent. Until next time, it's been DerTebbers with your Flight Simulator X Spotlight.